Hey there, all. It's the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. I'm going live before the race, 1 hour before the race. I'm here talking about all things Formula One, qualifying recap, the latest news, whatever you want to hear about, actually. Let me know. If there's something you want to know about, let me know. I've got a whole schedule of stuff to go through. So if you don't have any ideas, don't even worry. I've come prepared, as always. What's going on with this blur here? Can't work this out. I'll get that worked out one day. Don't worry about it. It's great to be here. Hope you're all enjoying your F1 weekend. There's been some breaking news right before I came on, so I wanted to cover that first, and then we'll just see what happens. We'll just keep it easy breezy. And I'm going to try harder this week to get the slides working and try and get through this without things failing too much. So far, so good. Okay, straight into the news that just broke right before I came online, which is the Gunther Steiner summoning to the stewards for comments. He's always making comments. He loves it. F1 boss Gunther Steiner summoned after criticism of layman stewards at the Spanish Grand Prix. See what they've done there is they've brought in those layman stewards. That's your first mistake. The Italian said he wanted F1 to have a professional group of F1 stewards for every race. After describing Nico Hulkenberg's penalty, blah, 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 is completely wrong. You got a 5-second penalty for a lunge on Logan Sargent. So speaking ahead of this week's race, Steiner aired his frustrations at stewarding, suggesting an overhaul. He has suggestions. He's not just a complainer. He knows how to fix this and he wants to see it done. I think we just have to go back to the question, do we need a different system for stewards? Steiner said. Every professional sport has got professionals being referees and stuff like this. F1 is one of the biggest sports in the world, and we still have laymen deciding on the fate of people who invest millions in their careers. And it's always a discussion before there's, and it's always a discussion because there's no consistency. I think we need to step it up. I think the time is now. I think we're discussing this for years and years, and we always go back to this. So it was not happy. Neither were the stewards, funnily enough. So this broke right before I came on. Let me pull it up. We've got the stewards. The stewards had comments of their own. Can I blow this up? Maybe a little bit. Here we go. Steiner reprimanded by FIA. Smash cut 2. Steiner reprimanded by FIA stewards. Haas Formula One boss Gunther Steiner has been given a reprimand by the Spanish Grand Prix stewards, those layman stewards, for comments he made regarding the FIA's handling of events in Monaco. Well, he doesn't look happy. Following a hearing on Saturday, Steiner was reprimanded but made it clear that his specific use of the word layman in reference was in reference to the official dictionary definition, which is a person without professional or specialized knowledge of a particular subject. So just to be clear, he wanted to make it clear to the stewards. When I said that you were layman, what I meant is that you don't know what you're doing. What I meant is you're not specialized in what you're doing. I just want to make that absolutely clear. I bet they were thrilled. I bet they were really grateful for him clarifying that. However, this story is amazing, and it has this amazing twist in it. The stewards accepted Mr. Steiner's statement during the hearing that his reference to professionalism was meant to refer to people who worked in a role as their profession, and not that the stewards were acting unprofessionally. So we're to believe that when he was making his statement, he had in mind the dictionary definition of the word, not that he got hauled in front of the stewards and then went, shit, how do I get out of this? Someone who's got a dictionary? Anyone? Who's got a Funk and Wagnalls handy? And then he looked it up and went, aha, see, what I meant was this. Here's what he said. I told the stewards that I apologized if my statements were misunderstood or caused hurt to anyone, as they were not my intention. I repeat that apology here. The old classic, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry if you were offended apology, which, look, you can't blame him for trying, right? This is the gold. This is the bit everybody has to hear. This is why I'm reading this out today. The statement added, Mr. Steiner stated that if he had meant to insult or offend anyone, he would have used much different words. The stewards do not dispute this. Amazing stuff. Gunther Steiner basically saying, if I wanted to offend you, you would have known about it. If I wanted to offend you, you think that's what I would have said? And they agreed. And frankly, so do I. But we just had Spanish qualifying. We're a bit over an hour away from the race. We had Spanish qualifying, and one of the things that happened during Spanish qualifying, number one, Max Verstappen on pole. No surprises there, really. But there was a little bit of discussion over a few incidents that happened. And essentially, they were all ones that involved cars getting in the way of each other. This one first. Could probably give it away there. Toto Wolff says Lewis Hamilton and George Russell's silly clash in qualifying at the F1 Spanish Grand Prix was caused by a Mercedes communication error. Hamilton and Russell dramatically collided at close to 200 miles per hour on the main straight near the end of the second part of qualifying in Barcelona. With both drivers starting flying laps, Hamilton looked to overtake his teammate with a huge slipstream, but Russell inadvertently closed the door. That means he cut him off. That forced Hamilton to take evasive action as he put his wheels on the grass, but the pair still made contact, which damaged the 7-time world champion's front wing. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think I'll get away with this if I show this. We can watch.
Whoa! What was that? What was going on? That's qualifying. That's qualifying spec. And was there just total confusion between the two Mercedes drivers, both pushing?
There's space there. Oh, wait. There's no space there.
It's really dangerous.
Yikes. Toto Wolff, teammates should never collide. And even with another car, you shouldn't collide in qualifying, Wolff said. So not great. Hamilton did go through qualifying fairly well. George Russell struggled. Hamilton did say that basically what he felt happened was he'd been told he was on a hot lap, George is on a slow lap. He thought George was going to pit. So he was following him and then went, he's going to go into the pits. And then he didn't. And then he kind of saw him kind of swerve in front of him and he thought, I know what's going on here. He's giving me a tow. Thanks, George. Good old mate, George. Old George Greg Russell giving me a tow. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't giving him a tow. He didn't even know he was there. So he was swerving to avoid the car in front of him, which I guess Hamilton didn't know or didn't see or something. Swerved. Hamilton pulled in behind him, got this great tow, pulled out to overtake him, and then whoops. Didn't know he was there. Gets put on the grass. Sometimes things just don't go your way. Unfortunately, Lewis Hamilton being pushed onto the grass. Let's just say it's happened before. Cast your mind back a few years, maybe. So what else happened in qualifying? And as I said, there was a few things. Let's have a look at this story. Pierre Gasly handed 2 3-place grid penalties for impeding, drops to 10th. So he qualified P4, but impeded 2 different drivers, was given 3 places, grid drop for each one. So he's dropped down to P10. Gasly has secured his best qualifying result of the season with 4th in Barcelona. However, he's now set to start the race from 10th on the grid. The Frenchman blocked Sainz in the final sequence of corners in Q1, while he got in the way of Verstappen in the second part of qualifying. The driver of car 10 stated he was aware that the second Ferrari, car 55, was behind, but felt he could do nothing to avoid impeding because of the high speed delta and closeness of car 55 to car 16. That's number one. However, it is the view of the stewards that he could have moved further to the right at the exit of turn 13. So he blocked him, basically. And then with regards to the Max Verstappen block, the team failed to give appropriate warning to the driver of car 10 of the approach of car 1, having told him the cars behind were on a slow lap. I feel bad for Pierre Gasly. That's not, that sucks. I wouldn't say he struggled, but I mean, with Gasly, with Ocon recently winning a race and stuff, it's just a little bit, he just needs something good. He needs something to go his way. And starting from P4 on the second row would have been really good. He was less than a second off the front row. This just could have been the thing that he needed, but sadly, just did not happen. So I was asked, I put the call out there, as I often do when I do something like this. I'm like, hey, who wants me to talk about something? And one idea that someone came up with was, hey, what's the go with all the impeding? And come on, big brain Rod. What's your idea to stop the impeding and help out? What are you going to do to help Formula One lift? What I came up with in my addled brain was the same thing I always come up with, which is maybe we give the old 1 lap qualifying another bash. Just think about it. There's sprint races that we've introduced. We're even talking now about like, well, why don't we? There's so many races and there's so many boring races that it's like, let's just try. Maybe let's get rid of the traditional race, and some weekends we'll have sprint races instead, because that might be better. And then if we're mixing things up, maybe every now and again, let's try a 1 lap per car in sequence, old style, early 2000s style 1 lap shootout. Now, there are those who will say that's incredibly unfair, because you might set us a fast lap at the start of the session, then it rains. Well, isn't that what we want though? Don't we want those mixed grids? And we want those random times where things fall apart, but it's not because of a stewarding decision or driving error. We want that mixed grid sometimes. I just think it's worth a go. I know every time we try and change qualifying, we screw it up. I'm very happy with the qualifying format that we have now, and it's way better than anything else I've heard proposed, other than a hot 1 lap shootout. And I'm keen, it just solves all these problems. All these problems of like, how many times have we seen cars like queuing up, trying to like, I want to be last across the line so that I get the best of the conditions and all the rest of it. And then there's that fast where people like leave it too late and don't even set a time. Might be worth thinking about. Comment from the chat. Let's bring this up. Lefty says, could be dangerous. For whom and how? Dangerous in what sense? We've done it before. I don't remember it being too dangerous then. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to admit it. Okay, so what else have we got going on? Oh boy, there's some good stuff. I've been keeping track of things that have caught my eye. Basically, I go through my news feed and I'm like, what's making me laugh? What is standing out from the normal? I mean, if you haven't gathered already, I'm not that interested in normal F1 news. I like the weird F1 news. From this website that I, yet again, have just never heard of, awfulannouncing.com. I tried to work out what this was, and I was like, is it a sport website? Is it a website that's about commentary somehow? This guy, Denny Hamlin, who again, apologies, I live in Australia. I watch Formula One. I don't know who this guy is. He's a NASCAR driver, apparently. And apparently, he, with Michael Jordan, owns a racing team. Like they went in together. So there you go. Team owner and racer. Denny Hamlin praises Sky F1 announcers for their excitement on commentary. For all the talk about the Monaco Grand Prix being the most prestigious race on the Formula One calendar, the race itself is typically boring due to a lack of passing. Despite that, the Formula One announcers on Sky Sports, which simulcasts on ESPN, are able to make a very fast parade sound like must-see TV. That impressed NASCAR driver Denny Hamlin, who talked about watching the Monaco Grand Prix on his Actions Detrimental podcast. I guess you could go and listen to that if you wanted, but obviously, after you've listened to the Super License podcast 3 or 4 times and left it a 5-star review, then go and listen to that one. The NASCAR driver praised the Sky F1 commentary team. I have to give an absolute shout out to the announcers, Hamlin said. They make you think, oh my God, this is unbelievable what Max Verstappen did in the final sector in qualifying. I mean, screaming into the mic saying, cannot believe what just happened. And I'm like, wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it. So I've got this labeled in my notes as accidental shitposting. I think is genuine. But that line, wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it. I can't read it as anything other than funny. I've highlighted some other bits here to point out that he was kind and spoke well of IndyCar's Lee Diffie for his work at the Indy 500, but he is bagging out the NASCAR commentary, who can be monotone. And he says, it's just crazy when you hear the kind of monotone we have, right? It's just da 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 da. And so, man, it's like Lee Diffie does an amazing job. Wow, he calls IndyCar races. It's just fantastic. All of this sounds like uber sarcastic. Wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it. The thing I want to call out about this is that I think he's got it wrong. Obviously, this is not good to have. It's not good to have boring commentators, obviously. Is it that great, though, to have boring action and commentators flipping out of their minds with excitement when really it's like, what are you so excited about? Because I've been critical of Sky F1 for that in the past. The person writing this article called out, the comments kind of remind me of this. We can watch this. Last time I did a stream, the audio didn't work. I'm quietly confident that it may work this time.
Halfback passes to the center. Back to the wing. Back to the center. Center holds it. Holds it. Holds it.
Halfback passes to center. Back to wing. Back to center. Center holds it. Holds it. Holds it.
Yeah. Incredible. Obviously that's he said that on a podcast. So the good thing about that is that I could actually go and listen to the podcast myself to make up my own mind. And I'm glad to tell you, dear listener and subscriber and YouTube stream watcher, you can make up your own mind too, because I've got the grab. Here it is.
Wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it.
Genuine or shitpost, you decide. Let me know in the comments, as they say. Smash that like button and let me know in the comments, is this a shitpost or not?
Wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it.
Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, this has been hyped. This has been hyped up the wazoo. But we have a very special guest joining us. And only one comment comes to mind.
Wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it.
Let's bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, Zachary Priest. Welcome to the stream. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great
How
to
my
see
levels?
you.
How
Where are
my
you?
audio? I am at home. I'm here.
Yeah.
Sounding all right? There's a lot of
great.
street noise and stuff happening. Good. Yeah. I'm home. Got back from Tokyo last night.
Oh, you're back? I thought you were
back.
still in Tokyo today.
No. Got back last night at like 7 p.m. and then like fell asleep on the bed. iPad hit me in the face. I was like, oh no, I'm okay. And then yeah, I'm here, ready to go. I'm ready. Like it's been a calm Sunday. Now I'm ready for a Spanish Grand Prix. Although I know nothing. I've been trying to keep up with I actually watched the Monaco Grand Prix. Yeah. Because it was on really late, and I just watched it while we got back from dinner in the hotel. So I'm up to date to that point, but I don't know what happened in qualifying yesterday, and I totally just
Understood.
like interrupted you. So
no, not at all.
Where you at?
You're more than a welcome distraction, and I mean, I don't know what you're complaining about coming on a stream like this, not knowing anything. In case it isn't clear, I've been playing like Simpsons clips. I mean, awesome. Quoting Gunther Steiner.
Because he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. You'll have to rewatch the start of the stream, but it's pretty gold. It's pretty fire what he's been going on about. The other thing that I've been doing, I threw out a suggestion before that we bring back single lap qualifying. Do you have any memories of that? Single hot lap qualifying?
That's a long time ago, right? But
probably just prior to you starting to watch the sport, I would say.
Yeah, and how many? So you only got one chance. Was that it? Or
Every driver
chances?
Yeah, every driver got one lap. That was the hour. An out lap, a fast lap, and an in lap.
See, I like that. I think there's something in that.
Well, you know who doesn't like it in the YouTube comments is Lefty, and he commented before that it was dangerous. I said, how so? And here's his response. Slower cars at the top of the grid is always sketchy. Well, yeah, I mean, the way they did it was there would be a car on the hot lap, and then the next car would kind of go out on their out lap while the other car was doing their slow in lap. So I mean, again, I don't remember. They did it for a few years. I don't remember there being necessarily any problems. But that said, again, I put my hands up. If there were, I'm happy to admit it. But I mean, the point I was making before too is we're looking at race weekends and the formats. Maybe we substitute a proper race with a sprint race every now and again to mix it up. Maybe we mix up qualifying week to week. instead of doing the same thing every week. Why not? We do sprint races some weekends.
Yeah, or you keep them in your back pocket for when the championship's getting a little boring. So you're like, you know what, Max is winning all the time. Why
Like
don't
when
we
Hamilton's not winning enough, let's spice it up.
Why don't we just change things and we'll just have it so that, you know what, Max, you're a one-lap qualifier today. You get one shot. You've asked this one. Because
we're expecting
that
rain.
often happens, right? That qualifying session 2 has the faster laps. Not often, but it does happen sometimes. That
you get the track evolution, they call it.
As opposed to qualifying session 3. Sorry, it might not be distracting for people on the stream.
You do what you've got to do, man.
It's been decided that today it is a very beautiful sunny day. Everybody is out, but everybody's also got their drills out, and they've decided that today's the day. They've got to get in all of their home improvements before the race starts because there's no other sport on.
I'm in wintry Melbourne, but even we had a beautiful sunny day today, and I got to get out and enjoy it, and I was it was good for my soul.
Oh, it is good for the soul. I did yoga this morning, and the
whoa.
yoga teacher was convinced that the yoga instructor was convinced that we were all doing so well in our different poses today because the sun was out, that we'd all seen a little bit of sun, which, you know what? Fine.
Good poses, everybody.
Good poses.
These are some good areas that we're in.
We're working a good line of length. They're good areas. We're getting just a hint of swing. It's all perfect.
Yeah.
It's all perfect. Yeah. So what else do I need to know from qualifying? So I saw Charles Leclerc had some problems. Car's broken. Yeah. And he was not happy with it. And they've just swapped everything out today. They turned up this morning and went, I want it all new. I want it different.
He's starting
it's like when you turn up to a hotel and you walk into the room, you're like, no, this is not right. I want it all different. I don't like any of this. Give me something different.
No, this is no good, and this is good news for the fans of Max Verstappen because he, I guess, will have no competition. If you think Charles Leclerc is his closest competition.
What about Norris? He's right. He's right there. He could do something from third.
No? He might. I don't know if you like. Every prediction for the podium that I've seen does not include Norris, and almost all of them include Fernando Alonso.
Yeah.
They're like, where is he starting? 9th? Yeah, he'll get in there. I didn't read this out when I did my qualifying stories earlier, but someone pointed out that despite the fact that Pierre Gasly has 2 penalties, which dropped him 3 spots each to start from 10th, he's still starting ahead of Checo Perez. It was like, if I was Checo Perez reading that, I'd be like, you didn't even have to say that. Why did you put that in?
I know. Exactly. You don't need to point it out, guys. Come on.
No. Live updates again from Lefty. Thank you so much for all these updates, Lefty, who points out there's a rain on the track. This also threw things out in qualifying, where it rained right before qualifying. And I mean, I posted in our Discord, so everyone should go and jump in the Discord. The qualifying highlights, of which the first minute are just cars sliding off into the gravel. I guess it was just so gravelly and so slippery. But a bit of rain on the track pre-race, that all goes well.
Yeah. You know who else should be pissed off with all of this Esteban, with all of this Fernando Alonso chat? Is one Lance Stroll. You know.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's starting 5th according to the starting grid from a website called Formula1.com. I think they're a reliable source. Why not? I mean, if he's got the pace, why not?
There was a post on the Formula One Facebook page that was like, who's going to be on the podium today? And it was like Max, Lewis, Norris, Stroll, and then all of the comments. Fernando on the podium. Alonso for podium.
Nando.
If I was Stroll, I would not be happy with that.
No.
But anyway, look.
Pulling up the old Sky Sports to see if I can watch some pre-race analysis.
You could do that. That would be probably good. You could give us a shout out. You could give us a running commentary on what's happening with Brundle's pit walk.
We've got
notable people that he runs into.
We've got a George Russell with a brolly and some shades.
You got to have a George Russell
being interviewed right now. You got to have, if you're going to have one George Russell, you can't stop at one George Russell. This is the thing. You can't stop at one.
You simply can't.
He looks pretty calm. These are nice sunglasses, though.
That's what you like to see.
I wonder the next one. They're like they've got so the side is like plastic continued from the front with a gold label on the side, and then it goes to a very thin gold bar, and then back out to plastic. Which is very nice. Maybe I need a drink. What fun drink do you have? Is that just water?
Well, it's this thing that I've discovered called water. Oh, actually, forget all that. Now that you're on the stream, I have something I have to do.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yep. Some crinkling.
We're doing F1 snacks. F1 snacks. F1 snacks is back.
I have so many
Because
snacks.
look at what I've got
Man,
here in my
I should get
hands.
some. Twisties. Twisted raspberry. I'm just getting a screenshot.
Flavor. Twisties twisted raspberry flavor. I was like, if Zach's not on the stream today, I won't do this and I'll just eat them. But if he is on the stream, I'll give these a crack.
All right,
I
want to. Here we go. Yeah, I'm ready.
So first impression visually, a bit pale, but with lots of flavor loaded on, which is promising.
It's like a ghost twisty.
This is YouTube history we're making right here. Here we go.
Good crunch into the microphone. I like it. Oh,
so that's unexpectedly sweet. Maybe it shouldn't be because of the raspberry flavor. It's a bit sour, not very sour.
Okay.
But it's it's odd. It feels good in the mouth, nice and crunchy.
Good. I mean, that's a good twisty.
It's got a good mouthfeel. It's odd having no savory note in the flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's odd that it's sour and
corn-based snack.
I don't know if they could mix the sour and sweet with a little bit of something. What do you have with raspberries that would sour it, like savory it up? You can't really do cheese or.
You could. So a raspberry cheesecake is a common thing.
Oh, you're right.
And so the cheese, you get a little bit of that eggy, say, like if it's especially if it bakes,
bit of
cheesecake, you get some of
egginess.
that eggy custard. Yeah, which is quite nice. I can imagine a nice, like, so actually.
Yeah. What Japanese? I hope you've got Japanese treats.
Oh, I could go and get some, actually. That's what I was going to say next, is I've got some Japanese treats that I could go on. What I would say is that I had a very nice raspberry hot sauce from a beer company that used like hops and stuff in their hot sauces. That had a little bit of a savory note. It was brilliant on eggs, like many a hot sauce. But yeah, raspberry sourness, sweetness. So what you might need, Rod, for these twisties is you might need a dipping sauce that is not a hot sauce. You need to bring the savory via the sauce. So maybe like a little miso glaze onto these raspberry.
It's funny that you say that because I feel like I've tasted my share of like novelty, like exclusive twisties flavors, and I feel like they've done one a while ago that was some kind of version of like ultra hot, super hot, spicy Cheeto style twisty.
Yeah,
it has it. There's a bit of that, as if that's like as if they accidentally stumbled on this. Like we took out all the chili. Turns out we got raspberry. Who knew?
Turns out it was raspberry. Well, chili and I was going to say chili and raspberry are related because they both grow on trees. But
that's it. Everything that grows on a tree tastes the same.
If you take all of the spiciness out of a chili, you're left with sweetness of paprika and pepper. So let me go and get two things.
Do that. I'll prepare a few more things for when you come back. But yeah, go ahead and do that. While Zach's gone, we don't need to watch his shaky cam while he walks away. I'll get a few things ready. Actually, we should have done this, and maybe I will still do this. We're going to play a little commercial break. I did have it ready to go, but unfortunately, silly me, got rid of it. I'll bring it back. We'll have a quick commercial break, and then we'll return from the commercial break. What are we going to do? We're going to see what Zach has up his sleeve in terms of treats, I guess. And we're gonna have a look at Peter Windsor's take on what Lewis Hamilton should do contract wise. We've got a big breaking story about Carlos Sainz getting busted. You won't want to miss that one. So make sure you do come back after this quick commercial break for more shenanigans and fun stuff.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
Anything you can be, I can be greater. Sooner or later, I'm greater than you.
Hamilton.
Anything you can wear, I can wear better. In what you wear, I look better than you.
In my coat?
In your vest.
In my shoes.
In your hat.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So real, so authentic.
I say faster.
I can say anything faster than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
It's
can.
like these days it's Michael Massey and Toto walking the gym doing this.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
couldn't possibly cope with it being hotter than this. Uh-oh. Look at that. A classic.
I'm back.
A classic.
Hello.
Zach's back.
That was an absolute classic. I'm going to change my.
Quick note from Jamisa saying he loves this ad. Me too. Absolutely one of my favorites. And just people, personnel, just everything about it. Couldn't be better. No notes from me. Ooh, talk me through this.
Here we go. So we've got. So I had some yen left over at the airport, and obviously Japan vending machines. I've been eating and drinking out of vending machines the whole time. I had some kalpas, which I'll need to tell you about. But kalpas, great. I also had a cream and milk sandwich from a 7-Eleven, which was delicious as well. Just like a whipped cream and milk. So good. But I had some leftover money on my little travel Suica card, like a Mikey card or Oyster card, whatever. And the vending machines accept that, which is the best. And so I got some Disney Mickey and Minnie matcha bourbon biscuits. So I think we should start there.
Okay.
But just to, sizzle, I've also got a wasabi Kit Kat. Thanks to friend of the show, Raws, for suggesting that we pick these up. And I've also got it didn't say in English on the packet what flavour these Kit Kats were, but they're a white chocolate something. So this was also a big shout out to a couple of people who suggested we go to Don Quixote, which if you Google cool. Don Quixote discount store, it is we went to a massive one in Asakusa, which was like 7 floors of different discount experiences, but they've got a very famous little logo. It's like this blue duck penguin bird thing with a little red hat. Discount items in there are amazing. Everything Pokemon themed as well. So what do you want me to start with? The matcha Mickey and Minnie bourbon, the wasabi Kit Kat, or the white chocolate / unknown Kit Kat?
Go white chocolate. I can't have white chocolate, so I'm very much
why?
Well, it's it's just got too much lactose in it, and my body doesn't like it.
Your body. I'm just going to do. Let me see if I can balance. I'm just going to change this.
Do you reckon it's all right to show this photo of you and Rose? He won't mind.
Oh no.
No, don't show that.
He will mind. He wants to stay anonymous.
Oh, what do you mean? So no, I shouldn't show it, or yes, I should show it?
No, you shouldn't. He wants to stay anonymous visually.
Okay, fair enough. I can respect that. That's why I asked. All right.
You could blur him. And just
no, well, I can't. Not on the fly. No, I can't do that.
All right. So we got white chalk, as you can see, and I think
I can see it. I'm guessing this is some kind of matcha thing.
Very strong on the white chalk, but then there's another kind of wafer inside, not just your normal wafer.
Is it not a green tea white chalk
speckled thing? No.
There is a speckling, which makes me think there's something else going on.
Maybe nutmeg, something like that. There's something cinnamony. There's something Christmassy about these. Some of those Christmas spices.
Right on.
Spice. The stuff you might find in an eggnog. Okay, fine. Nothing crazy. What next? Matcha? I think maybe we finish on wasabi, right?
Yeah, okay. So do you want let's save wasabi till the very end of the stream. Let's crack into that other one. And then we'll do some
I feel like I'm on like Disney adults TikTok where I'm like, I found these matcha. Who do we get there? Can you identify said character?
Is it not Daffy Duck?
But no, Daffy's Warner Brothers. That's Donald Duck's wife,
Donald Duck.
Girlfriend. Does she have a name?
Daisy.
She's her own person, right? Daisy Duck. You would know you've got a child. So here we go. I'm going to smell that matcha.
It looks better than the other one, though.
Oh. The biscuit is really biscuity. Like real bourbon biscuit. Bourbon biscuit?
Looks arrowrooty. Whatever that is. Yeah. Mealy.
The matcha is very sweet. I had a lot of matcha stuff there. Don't love matcha, too seaweedy or like savory in an odd way.
A little goes a long way for me too.
This is good. This is really good.
Great.
The biscuit's nice and crunchy, and the matcha is very sweet. I think these are very safe to bring home as a treat.
They travel well.
To be like, here, have something foreign,
Yes.
That is not totally misunderstandable. I actually
Always
went to a
got to,
tea making ceremony and I did the matcha whisk. Have you seen
Huh.
those bamboo whisks? They're very cute.
That's very cool. Don't know anything about it, but I mean, I'm all for broadening my horizons and learning some stuff. So,
Yum, that was good. Yeah,
this is amazing. But please do save the hot one. The last one is a
Yeah, I
woman
haven't
of
touched it.
wasabi something.
yeah. I'm going to eat the
Save it
rest
to
of
the
the white
end.
chocolate cat.
So I don't know if you saw the live stream I did last week, but there was lots of talk about Lewis Hamilton's potential contracts, him going to Ferrari, and essentially my thesis statement was it's all bullshit, and I covered about 5 stories that were about how it was all bullshit. But one man that isn't buying all the bullshit is Peter Windsor, and he's been making headlines for this bold claim that he made on a YouTube stream. Apparently, you go on a YouTube stream these days, and you just get headlines written about you, which is great news for us, I say.
Finally,
We have what he has to say about it.
please.
I've seen a few numbers bandied around. I thought one was 40 million. I thought, if I was Lewis Hamilton, I'd be going for a lot more than 40 million, because you could argue Lewis with the Ferrari brand and what he could do for the Ferrari brand, he should be thinking in terms of at least 50 just for PR and brand turnaround. And then how much is he worth as a driver, as a pure race driver? You'd have to say 30, 25, 30. So I'm 40. I would
Just say numbers.
More logical. And if they're not going to pay him that sort of money, I don't think you should do it. I think.
So I don't know if you
Just say
thought
some
all
numbers,
that.
mate.
He thinks he's worth $50 million in brand equity, plus he's worth another 30 as a driver. So he should be asking Ferrari for $80 million. That's in response to this $40 million number that's been going around. 40 million pounds. 80 million pounds, he reckons. And he says if they're not going to offer that, then he shouldn't do it. This is after he spent probably 5 minutes talking about how great it would be for Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton to swap. Leclerc could go to Mercedes, the professional outfit. He'll excel there. Hamilton would be great for Ferrari because he brings that experience and he'll just push them forward somehow, I guess. So he spent 5 minutes going on about what a great move this was. And then he's like, if Ferrari aren't bringing 80 million pounds to the table, then Lewis shouldn't do it.
I love magic transfer numbers rumors. You know, I love hearing about it in football. I love that people are just like, oh, well, this happened, so that's influences this, so that's related. But I think that this is so out of touch because
you think
Lewis Hamilton and the Ferrari, like if I was going to mix two brands in Formula One, it would not be those two in any way, shape or form. You know, that there is, and
they're too big for each other.
Yes, but I think Hamilton brings so much of his own personality to the brand that that's why Mercedes love him, because he brings so much of him, and it makes, you know, stock standard Mercedes seem pretty vibrant as a team, you know, pretty cool and interesting, and that kind of, they're not nerds wandering around being like, I'm cool, I wear a nice watch. It's like, yeah, but also Lewis Hamilton. Like, and he doesn't really know what's cool and is interesting and has cool friends. You know, like, I'm sure that there are multiple people at Mercedes who ask Lewis for invites to parties and stuff. And like, if you give me, you know, Will.i.am's phone number, that would be cool. But
or Shakira's phone number. Apparently Shakira's flying in to Spain. Rumors are her and Lewis are getting on.
Lewis. Well, I mean, she did quite famously break up with Peak, the Barcelona footballer, who cheated on her with another player's mum. So that might be a spurious claim. A claim that was just what I had heard.
Allegedly on Minecraft.
Allegedly.
That happened on Minecraft.
On Minecraft. Yeah, of course it did. But yeah, I just don't think like, and also Charles Leclerc is the like. I've said this before, if you're going to get like Stable Diffusion to make you a Ferrari driver that's good for their brand, it would spit out Charles Leclerc. Like he is just the Monegasque, multilingualist, young, attractive-looking boy. Like they could cast him as himself as a Ferrari driver in a film. Like he is just that guy.
That's so true. If you ask ChatGPT, give me a Formula One driver, it would just give you Charles Leclerc, and you'd be like, "Oh no, it's broken."
Give me
it's
Ferrari
just doing a Google
Formula
search. Like, no, we've got this right.
This is it. This is him. You know, everything just looks effortless. Or, like he just looks like a Formula One driver. And I always thought that about Fernando Alonso too. When he was at Ferrari, I think that he looked similarly like a Formula One driver. So yeah, I think Lewis Hamilton, he could fit at Red Bull as well. I think it would be really cool. That would be the swap that I would like to see. I actually think that Verstappen Hamilton swap seems more likely as total conjecture. But
what's the scenario that brings it about though? Is that Ferrari charging ahead? Suddenly, Red Bull and Mercedes are struggling for second, or they're both struggling for third, and they're like, "How do we go from third back to first?" I know we want Verstappen, and they're like, "That's funny. We don't want him anymore because we want Hamilton."
Yeah, I think that could be it. I genuinely think that could be it because I think that it was unknowable and unbelievable that Sebastian Vettel would ever leave Red Bull, but eventually,
until he did.
Yeah, until he did, and I think eventually drivers I think at some point drivers are, and this is poor Red Bull, but I think it's kind of the case. People do kind of like to win in red, and they wouldn't mind driving for Mercedes either. And so at some point, the drivers go like, all right, well, I've won everything now. Like, let's say Max stays at Red Bull for another 2 years. Wins this season, undefeated. Like Red Bull win every race. There's 16 races to go. No reason why they shouldn't win every race. Max goes, or they give him what he does another season, and then it's like, you know what? I would really, if Carlos Sainz has had enough at Ferrari, and Ferrari, like, you know what would be incredible to have Leclerc and Max racing in red. That's going to win us the championship. We'll give him maybe $80 million, 80 million pounds, and we'll bring him over.
Just do it.
Then
and do it for less than that.
And then they'll also at that point too, they can just junk Sergio Perez as well, and they'll put Daniel Ricciardo back in the car, and then maybe they'll be able to lower Lewis Hamilton there.
Everything's right with the world again.
And they bring Hamilton in, and then Lando goes to Mercedes, and it's all done.
Quick request in the YouTube comments. What are your predictions for the places? So I do have one more thing that I want to cover before that, but let's sizzle that. We will end with our predictions for the places and Zach eating a wasabi snack. But one last thing that I want to cover before we leave Ferrari and Carlos Sainz in particular is that he was caught. Did you hear about this? Caught. Absolutely busted. Sprung bad.
Doing what?
You probably think I'm talking about the test day where they ran different floors and the FIA investigated and they were like, well, you guys ran different floors. You can't run new floors. And they investigated and they mysteriously said, nothing to see here. Don't even worry about it. And everyone was like, what? But that's not even it. He did get busted for that. But that's not even it. Check this out. From Candare on, I don't know what this account
buying
is.
Followers on Instagram.
Carlos Sainz is buying followers on Instagram. Let's run the tape, aka the comments. He gained like 50,000 followers in 1 hour from out of nowhere, and all the accounts are bots.
Bots. Hey, come to Monash University, Rod. Good ad for our hometown unis. No, not him racing against his teammate on IG. I read
bullying followers and I got scared. I'm just looking. I haven't read all of these. I'm just looking for
help. Bro wants to
boost his ego or something. Help. Yeah, bro wants to cheat at everything. Oh, no.
You know what?
Now, the thing
I love that the idea that people think that it's like Carlos Sainz. Like that he's got his own Instagram and he's like Googling like need more followers, or he's got one of those, when you post and you get a comment and it's like need more followers now, we love your photo, send us this thing, we'll get you some followers. And he's just going, okay, sure, my credit card details are already in here, because he's always shopping. What made me wonder about that
is that it's the Spanish Grand Prix. In case you didn't know, he's a Spanish driver. I wondered how much of this, and the other thing that I pulled up, and I don't have this, but I've got another Instagram analytics tool that I'll bring up in a sec, and we'll do a bit of, we'll roll our sleeves up and do some investigation. But I did do a run of his Instagram account through a tool that showed his posting frequency, and prior to this week, he's posted in the last year about 4 times, and then in the last week, in the lead up to the race, he posted once every day, and then twice in one day, and then 3 times in another day. So his posting frequency has gone up, which means it will bring you some followers. It will, I'm sure he's hitting up all the hashtags. I'm sure everyone's retweeting it, and I'm sure that attracts the bots as well. Yes. So look, I think it's
what also is?
Yeah.
Probably just hired a new social media team.
Could be, especially around the week for, what do you call them? Activations.
Yes, he's done a brand activation. He's done a Carlos Sainz activation point.
And Carlos Sainz activation. He's activated himself.
He's activated the DRS, and
we have to get to the bottom of this. So here's what I've got.
Imagine that they've just paid. He's just got a new team, a new brand team who have gone, all right, and we can't have. It's too awkward to have Carlos's account because it's a bad trust signal. Take it from the marketer, Rod. You don't want to have an
I
account
want that.
that's got,
Don't want that.
like, if you find Carlos Sainz's account and you're like, 1,000 followers, that probably isn't him. You're expecting to see 1 million.
Not good.
Minimum. All right, here we go.
I've never seen this website before. This is inbeat.co, a fake follower check. Now, I mean, I have run these numbers before, but this is just to point out the health of their some websites, some accounts. Now, again, I don't know the veracity or the authenticity of this particular tool, but I just thought, for what it's worth, let's try and run this through. I hope this doesn't take too long, so I don't want to miss the start of the race.
Grid update. We've got Carlos is hugging Alonso around the shoulder whilst they listen to the national anthem. There's a woman playing it ferociously on a piano.
That's what you want to say.
In a beautiful dress. I mean, this is Laura Andres, and I can't hear it because I've got the sound turned off, but I'm sure it's great.
Doing more important things.
Here we go. The numbers are in.
The numbers are in. Now, according to this website, of his many followers, heaps of them are real, like totes heaps. He's up to 79% real. Now, I ask you, if we could plug in one Formula One driver's name, and check how many of their followers are bots, what name would you want me to put in? Lewis Hamilton? Correct. Let's give that one a whirl. Lewis Hamilton, heaps of real followers, again, tens of millions, blows signs out of the water. But hello, what's this number here? 64%.
64.
Suddenly,
basically nothing.
The plot thickens here. Should we try one more account?
One more correction whilst I was on, because we're live on a stream. That was the Catalonia national anthem. I think that she's playing both because the race is in Barcelona, which is Catalonia, so they're doing both.
They're playing them both in Minecraft.
I don't think that either Fernando Alonso or Carlos Sainz are from Catalonia. I think Carlos is from Galicia, and I don't know where Fernando Alonso is from. Let's find out.
Don't know. No idea.
So do you think that it's just that Lewis's brand is attracting more fake followers?
I'm not saying either way. All I'm saying is the dilution of followers, real followers to bots, is greater with Lewis than other accounts, including, let's have a look at the official F1 account. Again, this isn't a statement to say you're buying bots. This is just numbers, baby. The official F1 account, again, heaps of real followers, but whoa, this number's way low. 33% real followers.
Ooh.
That's atrocious.
He's from Asturias. Fernando Alonso, of course. Rod. You know your regions and principalities and independent areas of Spain, don't you?
I know that they exist.
Yeah, they exist. They definitely exist. Yeah. That's the important thing, is that they definitely exist. What about me, Mr. Zeep? How many followers do I have?
Do you need me to pull it up, or are you going to do it on the sly without letting anyone know?
No, you can let everyone know. Let's see how many. I've just been buying. I've just been learning a bunch. Is that my Instagram? Right? I think it is. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's do it. I only have 250 followers, so let's see.
It's going to say not enough followers. No, insufficient data.
No. Yeah.
No, I think you'll have you'll have maybe 5% bots.
Okay.
Because like everybody does, is what I mean, right?
Everyone's got some bots. We've all got some parasites living in our tummy.
Ooh. That's quite low.
Now, that inactive follow account, I think a lot of people that follow me have stopped using Instagram. You're a big Instagrammer these days because you're off the Twitters.
That's
you're
true.
All about posting some memes on Instagram. You become a shit poster, really, on your stories. And I get
this
it.
Is true.
It's great.
Yeah. I use my Instagram stories like I used to use Twitter. I'm really actually hoping that Instagram, they're going to launch this text version, and I'm actually pinning my hopes on that to be a Twitter substitute. And we might even set up a super license because I'm really sick of Twitter.
I better start buying some followers then.
Buy some bots. Yeah. I'll ask Carlos.
Buy some bots.
Where do you get them, bro?
Where are all the AI generated Twitter people that would be? Come on, like, why isn't there not ChatGPT millions of bots? Okay, here we go. What are the places? I think Max Verstappen's going to crash today, and I think Carlos Sainz is going to win.
Crash Verstappen.
Yeah, crash Verstappen. I think that Lando Norris is going to go in hot, and he's sick of Max Verstappen beating him on all of the simulator esports streams.
Right. That's true.
And so with his shitty setup, and Lando's got that beautiful setup, and Max is just like on a laptop. So I think that Lando is going to run into Max, and we're going to get a Carlos Sainz. You know what? Actually, that is going to happen. But Carlos Sainz I forgot he drives a Ferrari. So he's going to end up coming second with bad strategy, and Lewis Hamilton's going to win. There we go. What do you think?
Love all that. What I think is that it's going to be an easy win for Max. I think podium will be
boring.
Sainz, Alonso, P4. It'll be Lando or Hamilton, and I'm going to go with Hamilton.
Do you think that the rain is going to play any role in this, and that perhaps Charles Leclerc on a contra strategy is going to fight his way up the grid?
If it rains, I'll put Hamilton second.
How can we never get the will.i.am song anymore? It's Formula One. Formula One.
I was going to say, while you pull open that, do you want to see? This is a headline that I saw before. I forgot to add this to my notes. Watch Charles Leclerc race past McLaren star Lando Norris on his way to the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's watch this.
We're at the sun. Oh, great.
Oh my God, it's Charles Leclerc. Wow.
That is a nice Ferrari.
Style, you see that? It's incredible.
I mean,
star power.
If that's an omen for the race, then
yeah. Lando Norris. I've really soured on Lando.
I think the world has more sour than these twisty raspberries.
Okay. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was in the shower post Monaco Grand Prix. It was so sweaty watching that race, of course. And then I had to just cool down. I was like, Zhou Guanyu. I feel like I'm no news about Zhou Guanyu. I feel like we're never talking about him. But, quietly, doing better than Valtteri Bottas this weekend. Qualified in 13th. Give me his head down and just getting to work.
Just got to get some more points, and he'll be golden. But he's doing it. He's on the chart.
That is the trick.
I'm sure of it.
You just got to get more points. Really, is what you should try to do, Joe. Yeah. But it's hard to get points these days.
How is the wasabi? Like, are you keen for this, or is this more like a challenge?
I'm unkeen. I'm
the opposite of keen. Well, I'm glad we're going out on this.
Unkeen. I've had a lot of rich foods over the last 10 days, and I think acid reflux is starting to play a bit of a fun role.
Oh dear.
All right. They smell quite sweet with a hint of just a ooh. And look, I had freshly grated wasabi multiple times on this trip, right? Grated by Michelin star supporting chefs. So here we go. Oh, very sweet. What is this music?
This is atmospheric music for you to get into the mood.
Oh, it's definitely there.
This isn't going well.
All the flavor of wasabi, but none of the spice. My brain was like, oh my God, it's about to get really spicy. Have you had wasabi before? Yeah, you like a sushi.
I've had wasabi, and I don't mind a wasabi pea every now and again.
Yeah, it's a bit like a wasabi pea.
Got it.
Yeah. Delicious. It's just got that hum of wasabi, that kind of earthy spice idea, like earthy peppery feel, because wasabi's more like the style of heat, because it's essentially it's a radish, right? I
believe so.
Maybe it's not. It's a root. I'm pretty sure. But, radishes and stuff are all in that. That's a different spice. That mustard spice is different from a chili spice, and I prefer. I don't know if I prefer, but I like the wasabi. It's more earthy, more grounded, more real, more like a spice. And I really like that. And that was delicious. Yes,
I think with absolutely no preparation, you have nailed the return of F1 snacks. I think this is good things. I think that next time there's an F1 stream, everyone will be tuning in to hear what happens about F1 snacks and what snacks we bring to the table, and they'll be saying,
"Wow, I guess this is a big moment. I should care about it."
So we're going to wrap it up soon because I don't want to miss the start of the race. I actually missed the start of last race after the stream because I fired up my streaming app.
You're missing the intro right now.
Is the thing to watch. And it turned out to be qualifying and I missed the start of the race. But anyway, if you didn't know, we have a Patreon and it supports all of this silliness, the streams, especially the podcast. And we'll do a podcast again soon. Now that you're back, we'll gear up for that. But
Maybe
please, if you would like to, you can go to, if you don't want to remember that, you can go to superlicense.fm. It's been on the screen most of the time, but here it is bigger and in red, so that's better. But otherwise, you can go to patreon.com/superlicense to support the boys. Chuck us a couple of dollars. It keeps all of this running. Formula Men. And we'll be back with the podcast very soon. More live stream silliness, I guess, in future. I don't know when, but always keep your eyes out on the Twitters. But jump in the Discord is what you want to do. And when we do them, we'll try and keep to a regular time, which is 1 hour before the race. So if you enjoyed some of the silliness, whether you watched it live or whether you watched the replay, the next one, if we do one, whenever that will be 1 hour before the race. So watch out for that. But Zach, any final thoughts or notes on your first maiden F1 live stream with me?
I love this. It's way easier than the podcast because I can just
no
turn
editing.
Up and talk.
It's finished.
No editing. It's done. And one of the best things about it. So there's two great things. First one is I get to chat to you pre-race. It feels like the good old days.
So good.
I like it. And then number two, get to watch an F1 race now. That's
the way.
Pretty good.
That's what you want to say. Well, look, we'll zoom into big so that we can say our farewells. Enjoy the race. We'll see you again soon. We'll be talking to you really soon for a podcast. We'll be back with another live stream very soon. The website, superlicense.fm. Until then, my name's been Rod.
My name's been Zach.
And enjoy the race. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.